Okay, so the next step is we need to filter by date. So I'm going to grab the little starter snippet, paste it in. Step 2, filter image collection by date. So here I've created a new container called step 2. And for what I want to put in there is, so that's the output. The input is going to be the result of step 1. And then I want to filter it by this EE filter date. So I'm using the filter method of an image collection, which is this one. Apply a filter to this collection and it returns the filtered collection. And then I am going to pass a filter to that method. So I go under EE filter, and there's a bunch of filters here, including EE filter 8, date, the hungry filter that we have to feed a start and an end as where the start defines the date as a string, it says inclusive, and the end defines the date as a string, and it says exclusive. Um, so let's go ahead and do that. We want to filter this thing by, let's see, what do I do in my practice here? January. So let's say we want to grab everything from January 2023. Fair? So I need to enter the, I need to basically define my start and my end to grab every day in January. Is that fair? So the format here needs to be a string. So do single quotes or double quotes, it's up to you. And then the format for Earth Engine is year, month, day, separated by just dashes, a single dash. Is that fair? So 2023, 01 for January, 01 for day is going to do it. And then you need to define the last date. So let's start by doing this incorrectly, just so that you can see um, the the error. I'm going to say 2023-01 and hit run, and that should be fine. Let me just make a couple of mistakes to show you some of the errors that will pop up. Like if I have the date defined as 2023, 1 for January 31, and hit run, it's probably going to throw an error at me. No, it's just, I'm not sure it's going to know what that is. Anyway, let's check on that to see how that could be sneaky. So anyway, let's stick the O1 back in there and try that again in a second to see if I can break it. Or it might be a moment where I learn that it's not too picky about the O1. So let's see here. Yeah, let's see, print. So I'm going to say print, and this is going to be my step 2 checks, and then a comma. And let's start with saying step 2. And we'll just, and then I'll do it like that. And so we'll start by printing the whole image collection, because I think now that we've filtered it to just a month, it should be able to give me the whole set. So there's less than 5,000 records now, so it can do it, but you can see that we have 30. And if we click the caret to kind of bring this to get at the properties, you can see that features is where it's basically features means images. It's a little confusing, but the image collection under the features property, you're going to get a list of all of the images that are in the collection. So there's the first one, January 1st, and then here's the last one, January 30th. And so right off the bat, we can see, hey, if we made that 01, February 01, and hit run, it should now get me 31 elements. And if I go to features, I've still got January 1st, but now my last one is January 31st. And that's the idea that this one is inclusive and this one is exclusive, right? Inclusive, exclusive. So all that means is that when it's inclusive, that whatever image is the 1st of January will be included. When it's exclusive, whatever image is that February 1st will not be included, but anything before that, less than, will be basically inclusive is like greater than or equal to, and then here it's just less than, but not less than or equal to. Is that fair? So that is, let's just do a couple more things. you can do, again, a quick way of doing this rather than having it print all that out and having to click through to uh, see the list there. You can just do step 2 size, and that will kind of quickly tell you how many images you retrieved, and that can be kind of a helpful shortcut if you want to just make sure the images match the days in the month. Um, we can just, again, step 2 first. He's going to give me the first image, which is helpful. Um, and and I think the only other thing is that you can, again, repeat this line here to get the last one, which is sometimes helpful, just as especially in cases where the image collection is too big to print out the whole thing. A quick way to kind of get the first and the last image is this. A couple of other things I wanted to try here is what happens if I change and don't say O1 and just say 1. Is it going to work? Okay, cool. It does work. If I just said this, would it work? It does work. All right, so I didn't know that. I'm going to creature by habit. I always use 2 digits for these things. I think the most important thing is that it needs to be year, month, day. And then it looks like there's some freedom if you don't. You'll notice I have this habit of always starting with the left there. But anyway, so some flexibility there, but the year, month, day is the rule with dashes. If you try to do this, it's just not gonna. This should throw a fault. And let's see. Yeah. So now it's not happy. So, and this is a good thing. The errors are this really bloody saturated red that kind of, I feel like, is designed to kind of make your heart race. And it would be nice if it was gentler for because that's the thing. Is you just do a typo and you're going to get that bloody red patch on your script, which is going to feel like a bigger wound than it really is. The only other thing that I wanted to kind of show here is if I added this kind of step 2, and I say first, and then say band names, and then hit return. So that's going to give you the list of the band names, and it's just showing you that you still have the same 12 bands for the images for the first image here. So the number of bands and their names is really kind of staying the same for every image in the collection. But if I had said step 2 band names without that first and try to hit run, I think it's going to give me this. Step 2 dot band names is not a function. And so what that's telling you, whenever you get this message of is not a function, and you're pretty sure that this thing is a function, it means that it's not a function of this object. So step 2 in this case is an image collection. And if I go to image collection and go down and look for band names, you're going to see that it's not there. It's not listed as a method of that object. If you go under image and you go to band names, it is a method of that object. So I can't call this method um, as a on an image collection. I have to basically first convert that image collection to a single image, which is what we do whenever we use that first. And then I can call this method of images on it. Is that fair? So what I'm doing is saying, like, first convert this image collection to an image, then grab the band names from that image. And that's what allows me to get that to work. And that was the case up here. If I had said band names, it would not have worked. I'm not even sure if projection is as a method that I can use on an image collection. I think it might just be of yeah, it's just of images, not of image collections. So so just something I just wanted to point out that the source of that error. And cool, I'm gonna hit save and go on to the next one.